blow my mind. You can never be no side piece. You're mine.
It's the Heat, SiriusXM Mina SayWhat. I am so excited. We having a Mina's house party, and Ivory Scott, singer, songwriter, artist, is checking in. Producer, welcome, Ivory.
Nah, thank you for having me, for real.
So I met you at the BET Award weekend, and
We
I
piped it
talked to
up.
you then.
Yeah,
You know, we established ourselves. Then
for sure.
I ended up somehow weirdly
Yeah.
at your EP listening party, but we'll get there.
Which
Can
was
you talk
amazing.
about that experience, that BET experience for you, and you talking about your music?
Honestly, it was my first time doing it. It was crazy, like fast, you know what I'm saying? But I got to meet like some interesting characters and a lot of great people. So it was a movie for sure.
Yeah, and I remember distinctly your interview because it was your first time there,
Yeah,
but I had such a great interview with you,
no, for
and I
sure.
felt like I wanted to talk to you more, and now I'm excited that you're joining us here and you're going to be singing live.
Yeah, for sure. It's a movie.
So I end up with J1, shouts to J1. We end up at your EP listening party, which is before Ebony.
Yeah.
How can you describe that day? Like, tell us about that day.
Honestly, like it was a great vibe. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of energy, good people. You know what I'm saying? Like you were there, which most importantly, like you know what I'm saying. It was a vibe. You know what I'm saying? It was good energy. Like I got to let people hear like the version of Ivory Scott as an artist opposed to a songwriter.
Yeah, and that's the thing about you. You started off songwriting, and this was actually, I guess, your first introduction as an artist
Yeah, for sure.
playing your music. So was that a surreal moment? Because for the longest you've been behind the scenes, and now you're actually introducing your music to people for the first time.
Nah, it was definitely surreal. Like like I feel like every songwriter, at one point in their career, they wanted to be an artist. I don't think nobody woke up and was like, I just want to write songs. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely surreal, and to have so much support from, people that I've written for and worked with and, co-producers and stuff like that, to have so much support as an artist, not just as a songwriter, is like amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm held back by it.
So before Ebony, tell us some of the people that you worked with on that project.
On my before Ebony, I
Yeah.
got Sukiyana on there.
Yes.
We turned up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I got my brother Eric Bellinger, and I got my
Uh-huh.
sister Queen Naija on my single My Mind, which is
Yes.
amazing.
So when I was at the listening session, I thought all of your music was incredible, but I particularly was drawn to the Queen Naija. And I was very vocal about that. Do you remember,
Nah, you
Ivory?
were very like literally when we dropped it, I was like, you were the first person I hit. I was like, your song is out. Like, so like, it definitely like you were like, yo, this the one. And
It's
so far it is.
it spoke to me, because I like Queen's variation with her vocal tones,
Yeah,
and I think you guys really mesh well together.
for sure.
What so when I was at the listening session, I felt like I was the only one really vocal about that song. How did you get to the point where you were like, okay, now we're gonna go on this song?
Honestly, like that was like a favorite of the team for a
Mm.
minute. And so like I don't know, when we did My Mind, it was such a moment, and then just like, to see the reception behind it was just like, okay, this is definitely one of the ones.
All right, so let's get into that featuring Queen Naija. What can you tell us about this? What makes this song special?
I mean, this song that we did, it's for the ones, not the twos. You know what I'm saying? Any girl out there that know that they are not the two. Like some girls are okay with being a side piece, but the ones aren't, you know what I'm saying? So that's what this song is for.
Now, Ivory, I've been playing your song on my show every night, and I've been telling the story over and over how you're a songwriter and you've written for so many people: Beyonce, Madonna, Lil Durk, Ed Sheeran. Do we need to go on and on and on?
Oh
And now
man.
you're stepping into that artist role. How long have you been songwriting? Like, how long has that journey been?
Honestly, like I started writing songs when I was 8, 9 years old. I started taught myself on piano, and then like
Not
I
the
moved.
Casio.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Actually,
The
the
Casio?
Casio, the one where the keys light up, the little short joint. Yeah, no, definitely started on the Casio. That's why I first self taught myself how to play piano, and then I taught myself how to play guitar, and it just turned into songwriting. And then I moved from Chicago when I was 16. I moved to LA, lived in LA for 9 months, homeless, chasing my
Wow.
dream, trying to get it done. And then I ended up coming to Atlanta, and then that's where I met Ray Daniels, and he introduced me to Mike Karen. Mike Karen introduced me to Hitmaker, and things just started like unfolding in my life. So But you got to put that work in. So it's definitely a, you know what I'm saying, a journey.
I was gonna say, so many people would love to work with Hitmaker because he's literally the hitmaker.
For
Like,
sure, for sure. That's
for
bro.
you to just naturally run into that connection and then keep building it,
Nah, for sure.
like, what do you think he saw in you?
I think it was instant magic, you know. It was just like, you know how like you get together with somebody and you know like there was a piece missing. Like we just kind of was like two pieces missing from each
Mm,
other. You know, so we got so many records together, done so many projects together since the first session we had. Of course, I walked in, I was like, damn, this hit maker. I gotta go
right.
crazy. You know what I'm saying? We did 10 songs that first night. So it's like
Wow.
it was just instant connection. We from the same city, you know what I'm saying? And just like I respect this hustle so much. And it was just like, you know, anytime, you know what I'm saying, I got that call, I pushed up and we, you know, said we made magic. So it's been great. It's more than like a lot of people I work with in a business, you know, it's just like, you know, we just work together. But me and Hit, we like brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like we check in on each other. So
Yeah.
it's real.
How many songs have you written? Do you know?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I write
Like
10
ballpark.
I write 10 songs a day.
That's crazy.
Okay. That's I don't work on Sunday.
That's so
So
crazy.
that's 60 songs a week. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like, so just imagine the catalog is thick.
Okay, how many placements have you gotten? Maybe that's the better question.
Let's just do like the last year. The last
Mhm.
year I probably had like a hundred placements.
What?
So like it just I'm blessed for sure.
Yeah. Well, you've been doing so much that you actually won the Songwriters Award
For
at the
sure.
BMI Awards this
For
year.
sure.
So
That was
congratulations. I
I
want to clap it
appreciate
up for
that.
that.
I appreciate that.
The song that you wrote was Young Blue's Baddest featuring Chris Brown and Two
Yeah.
Chainz. What song are
Such a
you most like proud of that you've written?
honestly, like Peru, because like Peru, like that hit a different culture. You know,
Yeah.
it took an artist from being an artist that was just known in Africa to being known in America. You know,
Mm.
so like it's one thing to write records for artists that are already established, already have, you know, their foot in the game, but it's another thing to write a record that changes the artist's life. So that's, you know what I'm saying? That was probably like the most like proud thing, like for me as a
That was
songwriter.
a worldwide record, you
Yeah, for
know?
sure.
Did
For
you so you,
sure.
I'm sure you got a plaque for that. How many plaques do you have at this point?
I have like at the house right now, I probably have like 40, 43, 40, something like that. But I probably got like 20 more I could order.
Yeah.
So
I'm the reason why I'm asking these questions is I want people to understand your background as a songwriter, right?
for
And
sure.
how much work you've put into the music business already.
For
Because
sure.
now you're building your solo name as an artist. And people think that this happens overnight, but you've actually been working for all these years and
For
you've written
sure.
all these songs.
Yeah, it's
And now
crazy.
this is your moment to step into that limelight.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm so blessed. You know what I'm saying? So blessed to be able to do it. You know, a lot of people dream, you know what I'm saying, of the things that I've been, the people that I've been able to work with. So, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm blessed, man. Honestly, you know, God got his hand on my life and I'm
Mhm.
continue to be a beacon for him.
I love that. We're about to get into the song with Eric Bellinger, Just Like Me. Tell me about this record.
Man, just like me, we actually did this record like 2 years ago, and it was just in a session where we were just doing records. Me, Eric, Hitmaker, OG Parker, like it was just a vibe. Like, and when I came out the booth, Hitmaker was like, "Yo, you got to keep this one for yourself." And at the time, I wasn't even like thinking of myself like as popping out as an artist. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And so like Eric stayed on it and it was like, boom, I hit Eric and I was like, yo, I think I'm gonna use this one for the first joint that I drop ever. And, you know, bro championed me, popped out for the visual, you know, showed so much love. So it's just like me, you know what I'm saying? Featuring my brother, Eric Bellinger.
So I was so impressed when I was talking to you BET weekend that you wrote Beyonce's Thick. And we had a whole conversation
For sure.
about mentally how you got into the mindset of writing Thick for Beyonce. But can you tell me the story? How'd you get there?
So basically, like my A&R, like there was a situation where they were looking for records for Beyonce, and there was a beat that they had like for so long that Hit Boy had did, and it was just like I don't know, they were just so in love with this beat, and so immediately when I heard it, the beat wasn't even finished. When I heard the beat, I was like, "Yo, thick." That was the first thing that came to my mind. And then we went to the studio in L.A., cooked it up. When I was in the studio, B actually walks in like behind me. And I'm just like, I'm facing the console. So like I could just feel like her energy for some, you know what I'm saying? I could feel it. And at the time, like my foot was broken, and it was just like I hopped up, hobbled up,
You're
and I was like,
hobbling in.
dude. So not
Beyonce's behind you.
for sure. So it was a movie, man. Like for sure, it was definitely a movie.
What was that session like? Like, I'm sure people, you know how they have that question, would you take the money or the lunch with Jay-Z? It's one of those things like, would you take the money or the session with Beyonce? Like, what's
Oh
the session
man,
with
like
Beyonce
I'm
like?
I'm I'm a legacy person. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like money gonna come, money gonna go, but being, a part of a legend's journey is like amazing when you know what I'm saying, you seeking to become a legend. So magic. That's what it feels like. It feels like, you know what I'm saying, like a dream.
Yeah. So now you've released your debut EP and now you're actually going to release your album called
Yeah.
Ebony.
Yeah.
So why after all this time? Like why now? Because you talked about how you had Just Like Me and Hitmaker told you to hold the song for yourself and you
Yeah.
weren't even thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
What made you start thinking, okay, now I'm gonna put out music under my own name?
Honestly, like seeing like a lot of artists, in their process of putting out music, seeing the type of teams that they had around them, the people they had around them, I knew that I wouldn't be a successful artist if I didn't have the right team around me. A lot of times, like, artists look at themselves and they say, hey, I can do this by myself. But you got to have the right team. You got to have the right people in place in order to be able to be successful. So the
Right.
moment I felt like, yo, I got the right team, I got the right label, I got the right situation, creative control is like a heavy thing for me. So like, and then, when you making money, it's like, it's easy to be like, man, I'm just going to write these songs. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt like it was that time. It felt right. You know what I'm saying? I'm a super energy person. I felt like it was just time for Ivory Scott to pop out as an artist. So we
Mm.
own it.
Yeah. All right. So I think whoever wrote your bio is an incredible writer. I was like, I've never like, I just felt like I was touched by God after reading your bio. I'm like, so it says you're a singer, carpenter, songwriter, athlete, musician, automotive engineer, producer, creative, tall, dark, handsome, Trailblazer Ivory Scott is en route to becoming everything for everyone
For
and
sure.
everywhere all at once.
For sure.
Comfortably.
Comfortably. That's the most important part.
Comfortably.
For
So
sure.
nothing about transitioning to from singer to artist makes you uncomfortable. There's no things that you feel like, oh, I wasn't expecting this.
Honestly, like the only thing that has changed that, I see is like, I'm a super private person. Like I like to like I'm not the biggest people person, but stepping out as an artist, you got to step out in front. And so that's like something that like definitely was a curve in my life. But other than that, like, I don't know. I've always felt like an artist. I've always felt like even, me going in a booth and creating some of the biggest records in the world, that's a form of art, you know what I'm saying, a form of expression. So like, I don't know. I've always felt like an artist. Like it's just a different form of it.
Right, right. So your next song is Real. Tell us
Mm.
about this song.
I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's real. A lot of times, like in this world is like super plastic. It's not like nobody's really being in love. Nobody's like really like searching for nothing real. Everybody's just, having a good time, living life. But at the end of the day, we all need somebody that we can call on when we ain't showing our highlights on Instagram, when we ain't, living in a false reality. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this song is actually my favorite song on the project because it's just like, I don't know, it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody needs something real in their life.
It's funny how God works.
For sure.
I'm so honored to be speaking to you and in a position where we can showcase your live talent.
Yeah.
And it all started from an interview at the BET Awards.
That's crazy. That's
Isn't it?
crazy. It's
And then I
definitely full
end up
circle.
at your listening
I
session.
know.
And then
Like,
you're like, then the song that I loved ends up being your song, and we're
right.
playing it, and now you're here.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Shout out to you. You know what
No,
I'm
shout out to you.
saying?
You're out here putting in the work. Now your debut album Ebony is coming. What can you tell us about that?
Man, it's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, like you read in the Bible in in the bio, you know what I'm saying? It's everything. You know what I'm saying? It's every form, every type of music. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a combo. I've written for artists like Madonna all the way to Dirk. So it's like just that fine spot in the middle there. It's gonna find you right there.
So are you calling on Madonna for the feature?
Man, I might have to hit her.
Like, yo,
Like,
M, yo,
yo,
Donna.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
as a songwriter, you have all those checks you can cash,
Yeah, no,
right?
for sure. For sure, for sure. We gonna use them wisely though. We gonna spread it out. You know,
What checks
I
are you
want
cashing this album though?
there's a couple, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple. There's a couple joints we ain't gonna talk about yet, you know what I'm saying? But we definitely, you know what I'm saying, I got Ty Dolla Sign on it, so that's, you know what I'm saying, that's definitely, you know what I'm saying, a big one.
Mhm.
But yeah, you know, mostly I want to give, you know, people, you know what I'm saying, like the features just to show, you know, my relationships and the level, you know, I'm at in this business. But more importantly, like I want to show who Ivory Scott is. I feel like the songs that are standalone, the songs that I'm gonna do by myself, are gonna be the songs that really describe and show you who this new person is as an artist.
Yeah. All right. I won't ask about Madonna. What was that like? What, you were in the studio with her?
No, I actually didn't do a session with her. That was
Okay.
one that I wish I was in. But Mike Kieran actually sent me the record, and she was like, I mean, he was like, "Yo, Madonna wants you to work on this record. You down?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm
Right.
down." So no, it was a great record. It went crazy on TikTok and all that. That record frozen.
Yeah, yeah. Before we go, I read that you wanted to be a football player.
I was a football player. I
Yeah,
could
but
have
you
went.
wanted to go pro,
I
right?
could have went. I could have went. I could have went. I was
So what
nice.
happened there?
So basically, like growing up, like I played football. You know what I'm saying? I had a full ride scholarship, but I had to pay for my books. So I went to the church that my mom actually was like dedicated to. I'm talking about paying her tithes, everything. I went to the pastor at the time and I was like, yo, I just need help paying for my books. I think my books were probably like 10 bands or something like that. And I asked him for the bread, and he was like, you know what? College ain't for everybody. And
Wow.
it blew me. And you know what I'm saying? So like I basically couldn't pursue football just basically because like I wasn't like in a financial position to stay in school. So like I don't know, like it's like a lot of trauma in my life, the things that have happened, it's molded me, you know what I'm saying, into like where I am today. I've affected so many people's lives, changed so many people's lives around me. And so like, hey, listen, the downs, you know, it's gonna always put you up.
Yeah. And now you're in a position where you can give people book scholarships
For sure.
and
For
school
sure.
scholarships.
For sure.
You know, so like the next person doesn't have to experience what you went through.
Yeah, for
We all
sure.
have a story of struggling in school, especially when you come from like, I come from immigrant parents. It was a struggle when you had to figure out where to get the money. But you
Yeah,
know
for
what? It
sure.
develops a drive. And this is why you and I are here, right?
Nah, that's real.
It develops something like, okay, I got to make money. I got to do this. I got to
Yeah, you
apply
gotta
myself.
for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story, Ivory Scott. Ebony is on the way. When is that coming out?
It's coming out 2024, top of the year. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be like Happy New Year's. Ivory Scott just dropped.
Right. January 1st.
For sure. Right with the
Man,
rent.
right. Ivory Scott live here. It's Mina's house party on the Heat SiriusXM. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.